All right, everybody. Ed Diaz, I am back, except this time it's 2 for 1 day. So I have two for the price of one. I have this dynamic duo of a real estate team, Dyniece and Frans, here today with us. They're going to share some really insightful information. So make sure you get your pen and pad and take notes because this is really good information. Thank you both for showing up. Man, have the markets gone nuts and crazy or what? It seems like planet Earth is upside down. A lot of things, and I'm sure all of you watching would agree, things just don't make sense. So this is why I got the pros here to talk about what makes sense and what doesn't, and kind of give us some metrics so that we can make sense of this whole craziness. And then at the end, we'll wrap it up. They're going to give us also some recommendations. So thank you again. So take it from here. Tell us what's going on.
Thank you, Ed. So I want to start with just sort of a general overview of San Francisco, the peninsula, all the way down to Silicon Valley, a market overview of what's happening there. And I want you, as I go through and show the slides, to notice the difference in the information. So here we have the San Francisco market. The median list price is 1.2 million. We have 993 active listings. The median days on market, 83.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we've been living with. And new listings last 5 days, 27. So this is what we have going on. It's a quick snapshot for August.
So that median list price has come down quite a bit.
Yes. We've got some pockets, and Frans will get into that a little bit later in depth in San Francisco.
Well, numbers don't lie.
Neighborhoods that we've that have been on sale, and they should be gobbling these properties up, but we're sort of in this weird space where buyers are still sort of.
It's the fog. And it's all about the fog.
Is that what it is? It's the fog. The fog comes with a price, huh?
The fog's going away. So
yeah.
September
we're going to see
is going to be a very interesting month.
Mm-hmm. So,
all right. Well, and you guys know it's coming quick.
Yeah.
So we're going to go all the way down here for the month of August for Santa Clara. You'll see 1.5 median list price, active listings 51, median days on market 16.
Wow.
16, all the way to 83. That's pretty significant. So their market is still moving pretty quickly out
so
there.
This is the Japanese bullet train. My gosh, 16 days. That's crazy. And look, you have basically no inventory. So everything's flying off the shelves.
Yes. And then for new listings, the last 5 days, 12 listings. So first for Santa Clara. So, go to the next one. So
what a difference in market.
Yeah, then
Burlingame. Wow.
Burlingame is the median list price there is 2.62. We've got 42 active listings, and the median days on market is a little more normal, 32. That's sort of a normalized, and the last 5 days, 6 new listings, which is a good, healthy,
It's also about the size. Burlingame's smaller, price points higher.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing though how this has changed, because I remember the days where Burlingame was cheaper than San Francisco. Look at this; they're crushing us.
Well, Burlingame is a fancy part of town. It's down the peninsula. It's kind of just outside the fog line in Millbrae.
Man, no wonder my Pete's coffee is so expensive on Burlingame Avenue.
Here you go.
Wow, it's like twice the price of San Francisco on the median side.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. Honestly,
but Burlingame there's a lot of nice houses in a small little area.
That's true.
And the prices will shift again. I think what Dyniece is showing here is Santa Clara is huge. Santa Clara's got all types going on. And then you put Sunnyvale, you got San Jose
that's
downtown.
Good context.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then from the peninsula side, Palo Alto's high, Manhattan's high, and then Redwood City, San Mateo. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of all the way up to 280, all the way down to 101. There's always the joke: is it on this side of 101 or that side of 101?
That's true, huh?
That side El Camino. And
sides matter. Sides.
And then let alone school districts.
Yes.
School districts for a lot of people, peninsula.
That's true.
San Francisco to the peninsula to Santa Clara. The buyers shift from single person living in the city, 1-bedroom condo to houses. And what we noticed with COVID is, everybody wanted a house. So as houses continue to push up, condos in the downtown area is like the slowest area in the entire Bay Area. You know, so I have some macro sheets to kind of,
he's gonna get into that. Yeah. So I'm just giving quick August snapshots. So we've got
great information, guys. Wow. This puts everything into perspective.
Here's the what we were just talking about. August San Mateo numbers: 1.4 median list price, 99 active listing, 11 in the last 5 days, and 46 days on market. So,
and that just says there's different products, different spaces, different locations of El Camino, Alameda de las Pulgas. Are you up the hill? Are you down the hill? In San Mateo,
very true.
3 different high schools: Aragon, Hillsdale High, Cappuccino's up on the top. So there's a lot of different, you know, pieces. When you median it out, it's general data, but it's not hyper specific for the buyer. You know, and kind of, you know, as people say, oh, I want to go to San Mateo. It's like, well, where exactly do you want to go?
Well, location, right? We've always known this about real estate. Yeah. I mean, this is median, folks. This isn't, right? This is median.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that wraps up.
That's your piece. Should I jump in?
The four snapshots for August.
So where was I going to go? So I got a lot here, and I didn't want to overwhelm, you know, per se, but I think this one, Ed, this is one I've been using a lot.
I like
this is going back to 1984.
Wow, we're going back to when I had long hair. 84, man. The hair metal days.
Back to the future. So I won't last long because I think it's more just a conversation, but there's always stats. This is the stat that people like to see. First-time home buyers in the Bay Area. What are the booms and the busts? And here you can see the pandemic hits. And once again, this is the median house sale in the entire Bay Area. So Burlingame's different from San Francisco, and we're not even talking about condos yet, you know. But so
this is all single family.
Yes. And the point is, people in the Bay Area is the Bay Area. It's not going to go away. Since you and I have been here since the beginning, since I was born in Sunnyvale, I've seen it trend 3 different times. You know, in my lifetime, I'm talking about, you know, like how much it's changed in 50 years. So but it's still, the Bay Area is not going away. Apple, Google, Facebook, everybody's doubling down.
Not anytime soon.
Exactly. Yeah. There's stats about people moving and stuff like that, but then there's another stat that guys come back, right? They're like, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know?
And even the ones that move, that number is so small percentage wise.
Exactly. So that one, want to lend into, I'm going to bring this one up for you, Ed, our rate guy. People love this.
Yes.
And I love, this is your wheelhouse. And
right.
You know, I'll let you talk to this a little bit.
Oh,
you know.
I mean, this is great. Let's just go to 1981. Okay. So those of you who don't know, our chairman of the Fed was Paul Volcker. By the way, little trivia in case you ever land on Jeopardy. He was the tallest chairman ever. I think he was like 7'1". He was humongous of a human being. But he also did some humongous increases in rates in order to do exactly what's going on now, which is to kill inflation. And the 30-year peaked in 81 at 23%. Same year it came down to 13%. They were having block parties because everybody thought that was free money back then, right? And now we're complaining because we're in the 7s. Just look at history, folks. These charts are money because it puts into context exactly what's going on. Look, everything happens in cycles. We happen to have runaway inflation, and the Fed, the only lever they have to kill it is really by raising rates. I do think that because we have ADP's coming out with jobs numbers tomorrow, Wednesday, and then Friday we get the BLS report, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I think it's going to show that, you know, employment is going to start to take a hit. And with that, I think the Fed's going to maybe do one more rate increase and then call it a day. That's what I think, and I wish, of course. So I think between now and another, let's just call it 14, 16 months, I think we'll start to see rates really come back down into probably the mid-5s, which then, and you guys know this because you've been through these, what's going to happen? The new cycle is going to come out. What's going to happen? Low rates, everybody jumps in. You're going to see sellers start to sell. All the buyers are going to come in, multiple offers, folks, and prices going through the roof because we all know by simple classic economics, supply and demand, right? It's just going to happen. You're going to see it. So those of you who are thinking, maybe I should wait, waiting typically has a little punishment effect to it. It's going to spank you, in my opinion.
Excellent point. And actually, I was going to lead into supply and demand, but good segue. Even though, where was this one? Okay, seasonality. So this is where this one gets a little interesting. So you got to take your time, kind of look into it. But I did think that this statistic was important. Two things, and what I've been telling buyers now, open houses, conversations. A lot of buyers are like, "It's 7%. I'm not buying anything right now. I'm not, I'm waiting to see where this thing bottoms out." And then I talk a lot like, "Well, we're waiting for what is the turn going to happen, right?" So what I've been telling people, I'm going to reiterate this: 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Track the market. Know what you're going to get into. What I try and work with these people is you got to define. You tell me where your location is. If you want Potrero Hill for 1.5, there's maybe 4 units a year that sell at that price point. So if you're not going to go anywhere else, that's fine. But just note that when that one property comes up, you got to take it, right? And understanding, the location, because that's driving part of your motivation. And the way Dyniece and I work is, what is your goal? Are you here for 5 years? Are you here for 7 years? How's your work stability? What's your long-term plan?
Yeah, I work the same way. I want to know what your timeline is. What's your plan? Because here's the truth, guys. I mean, we look at it, the average stay is 7 years. But let's just say you're different because you come and you say, look, I want to buy a house. To be honest, I'm going to relocate within my job, but I want to build something in between. So I'm going to stay in this property 3 years and then sell it or rent it out. That's a different plan.
And it's fun in the city. What we always joke about too is, you start single, you meet somebody, you get the dog, you get the kid, you get the second kid, and then you're like, where's my school district?
I'm going to Mill Valley.
Yeah, exactly. And so our friends are in Mid Valley, our friends are in Lafayette, our friends are in
Lafayette. Right.
And it's an excellent discussion. And during the summer, how is that 100 degrees treating you out there?
Right. Good boy.
So that's the beauty of the Bay Area. But it also comes back to that, define where's your goal now. And so I tell people, you want a deal, it's downtown. You want to, and then I didn't have the stat, but when COVID hit, single family homes continued to just take off, but the condo market went flat.
It was a bust for us here.
And with that, there's still the condo market downtown, the condo market in South of Market. They're taking hits, but in Pack Heights, they're still moving. In Russian Hill, it's still moving. In North Beach, they're moving. 50% are moving, 50% are not moving. Why are the ones not moving? Well, it doesn't have parking. It doesn't have the extra room. So even though you put a median price, and I'll get into I got a slide to kind of highlight that. Each property is significant to itself, especially, on one street, you can have 1900 builds, mid-century, 1950, 1916 architecture, then 1980 and what have you. But getting back to this one really quick, this is my 3 months. Look in September, how much new listings come to market. Look again in September. Look again in September. And we're here.
Look at us now.
Our inventory is low because, as you know, too, sellers aren't selling because they're not going to buy the house across town at 7%.
Yeah, and they're not going to give up their 3% that they have right
now. So inventory over this 4-year span is low. So even though the market is down and the median prices are down, we still are going to have supply and demand issues. And this is where it gets hyper specific. Watch this September tick. I know a ton of coming soon inventory sitting. Everything is popping, which is why we're talking. Everything is going to hit after Labor Day.
Okay, I want you to say that again. Those of you who got up and went to get coffee and missed this, here it comes again. This is for you.
After Labor Day, it's historical. This is a seasonality chart.
For San Francisco.
Well, no, it's also
not so much
in the nation, because kids go back to school. Everyone takes August is the summertime, right? So you have look at these troughs that they go down in June and August. It just sits there. And this is specifically for San Francisco because we have Carl the Fog, and he's a big part of our lives here. And if you're selling a property in the avenues, you don't sell it now. You're going to wait for it to look great in the sunshine. What's significant is that September goes really quickly down to Christmas. So what I tell people is September, October It pops and it moves fast. You're not going to put a new listing out on Thanksgiving. Before, there used to be stuff at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now sellers need to figure out what they're going to do. And I'll jump into that kind of the next chart here. So this is, 3, 6, 9 months. See where things go now. Talk about where you're going. Watch it in January and July. How strong are we coming out of the gates in 2024? And then where's that interest rate going to hit? And then more specifically, if you're looking at condo, let me jump into this one real quick. And like you and I had, we could talk. I talk real estate all day.
Oh yeah, me too. Believe me.
Going, but
we can make this a Star Wars trilogy.
All this is very relevant, and I just pulled this up, thinking of us today.
All right, what is this? Tell us what this is.
To 2 or 3 people over the weekend. Where I was in Potrero. We're looking at Potrero, Bernal Heights, houses and condos.
Can you make this a little bit? Can you zoom in a little?
Yeah.
There we go. Aha, right there.
So and you can see all the top. So condo, single family, TIC, and going from Noe Valley. Let me pull it down a little bit. Oh, yeah, there it is. So what the main thing is, you have your active properties. You have your days on market. Every condo, every property is different. So even though, once again, we're talking about prices down 13%, prices are down 15%. Specifically, you got to get a little more specific on it. So this is where the real chunk of the data is kind of coming in. And let me kind of pull our head out of the way. The average list versus sale price, it's up 4% in this micro chart that I pulled. But not all these properties are trending 4%. Why is this guy 10% over? Why is this guy 5% down? What exactly is
20%, almost 21%.
So even though you have a general trend, you have very specific data that's relevant to your search. And a lot of people, I don't think, are considering that, where, like, if I kind of jump into this other one here, look at all these days on market sitting differently. The listing agent, we know, I had a discussion with a gentleman, he was an agent 4 days ago. What do I list my property at? 999. I want $1,098,000. If you list it at 999, you're not going to get, you might get people, if you list it over $1 million, you're not going to get people who are only shopping under $1 million, because they put their parameter like, oh, I want a 3-bedroom, 2 house under $1 million. If you price over $1 million, you're not going to get that buyer seeing your property. But if he prices it at $1 million at 999, he might only get $1,050,000, and he's expecting $1,001,000. So he's like thinking, where do I price? How's the market going to react? And there's a lot more properties that I have these searches that I kind of track the market, where Peninsula, I used to put 14 or 21 days on market. Like, I won't even look at the house unless it's 21 days on market. And now I'm seeing a lot more properties that are showing up. Oh, we've been sitting 21 days on the market. That's a buyer frenzy. If it's for 14 or 21 days,
100%.
You're not paying list price, period.
No, you're not.
And
look, you have this one at 68, started out at 1,585 down to 135. Right?
It's all over the place. Yes. And this is just a snapshot within a small three neighborhood radius.
Wow.
And that's what I tell people. And I said, listen, we're not buying a house. Talk to Ed, get your numbers straight. Mm-hmm. Talk to us, find out what your goal is, and then let me introduce. Okay, you want Potrero? Does that mean Bernal? Does have you looked? This other gentleman we were chatting about before we went online, right? Is he looking for a condo? You want a deal? I joke with people. You want a deal? It's downtown. It's in Soma. A lot of people don't really want that neighborhood, but that's where the deal is. So there's deals, but where exactly is your threshold? And in the end, you buy this house. I tell people the reason you're going to spend money on this house at this interest rate or is because you've looked everywhere else. You've thought about everything else.
Agreed.
And you're 100% confident that this is the right house because we've talked about it. Everything is.
Well, this is what the beauty of the numbers is, right? So on both sides of this coin, one is you got to get pre-approved, know your numbers so that you know your capacity, and then partnered up with you giving these metrics makes the plan laser focused, because here's where you develop strategy, right? Knowing your own numbers, you could say, hey, look, I see this has been on the market. I really like it. Here's the strategy of pricing this, right?
Yeah, and I'll stop
we're going to put our offer.
So I can see you in there. Yeah, part of what this listing agent was thinking about the other day, how does he know where to price it? Right next to him, this is why I spent like 30 minutes talking to him, because I would say we didn't have an answer yet, but the property next 5 houses over had 5 offers and was listed at 995 or something. And so the information that we're looking for just happened. It just happened 5 houses over. She had 5 offers and he spoke to her, but she didn't want to give the information because she doesn't know if she's got contingencies. She doesn't know if it's going to get into contract and fall out of contract. So listing agents are nervous, right? They're like, how do I price? Where is this market going? And what I tell people is that's where the opportunity is. So I can't, looking at the macro charts again, I can't guarantee what's going to happen. You know, the CPI, the unemployment, But what I can tell you is prices have shifted in the last 10 years. It's a seller's market. Guess what? It's a buyer's market. We have an opportunity to take, and I'm not saying you got to buy a house, but I'm saying you should start thinking about it and you should start looking at it.
Creating a plan.
And define your plan. Because I meet people who don't have houses. I'm just looking, I'm just browsing. I said, that's fine. Talk to a realtor. I start asking them questions. Talk to the lender. I tell them we work as a team because the interest rate going up 0.5%, or how about this? How about you offer 1.5 on the house with a 25K credit to buy, the seller's giving you the credit to buy your interest rate down. Now you're back in comfort zone. I don't really want to run $5. Hey, you can push the price point and reduce your interest rate, but we have to know where your threshold is. Yeah. And then I tell people too, it doesn't matter what your threshold is or what your price point is. We're going right to the top of it. You tell me $1 million.
That's true.
We're going right to $1 million.
That's true.
2 million.
It happens every time. Yeah. Most people don't because they fall in love with something that's going to push them to that. That's just the reality of it. But to your point, this is the power of having a team, right? Where we're all working as a team, because then we could put together a real plan that works as opposed to just going off of emotion, right? So on that note, what do you recommend for all the buyers that are watching this, what are your recommendations on what they need to be doing to win in this market?
So what I've been telling buyers, the primary thing, because I'm seeing a little pushback because of interest rates. They'll speak to us and then they haven't gotten pre-approved. And I'm telling them, speak to the lender and explaining just what we explained. We create a plan together to get you whatever your goals or, your needs for your real estate. So I'm saying get pre-qualified. If you don't want to be pre-approved, you're not ready right this second, we can build out the plan. But if you don't know what you're looking at, we're never going to get there. So I'm really advising the buyers to start there, and we're referring them to lenders, and they're having those initial conversations. And, I think we have to say it 3 or 4 times because they're really just not, because interest rates are 7%. I don't really know, they're sort of staying stagnant. The other thing that I'm working on right now with buyers in Santa Clara County is an amazing first-time home buyer program that the Housing Trust has, with Silicon Valley Housing Trust has. And I mean, they're really looking for some support and help to get into this market to make it more affordable. And this particular program that they have really creates an affordability factor because they're not having to pay monthly on that 10, 20, 30% that they're being, given.
Yeah, they're getting a grant. Yeah.
Right. For that period of time. So that's really, for first-time home buyers, that information I'm giving, and they're loving it. San Francisco, San Mateo, there's a little more red tape, not as much of an amazing program. But there's VA and FHA, if they're looking 100%. To get in those 2 programs, what we've been telling.
Yeah, and there's down payments assistance, especially that latch on to the FHA product, that are really great, that I can talk to you, anybody who wants to talk about those, I have those as well.
Yeah. Well, and encourage people to talk to you. And it's the hardest thing is saying, talk to the lender. Oh, I don't want to waste their time. Oh, I don't want to, this is how we work. And we're going to, we're having conversations. We know what we're doing. You need to have that conversation. We're not buying a house. Everyone thinks that you talk to the lender, you're going to buy a house.
Right. It's just education. And that's what I'm pounding in their minds. This is the educational process. We're not there yet.
And it takes time.
And they're really just sort of in this mode of, what do? I don't see it. I don't see it. 7% interest, 2.5 million. I'm not seeing it. And that's where we get to in this market. I worked the 2008 market. And what I found was that we really need to create the product. We can't sit and wait, for the listing to come out. So if we can build exactly what you're looking for, we go hone in and we go and get the listing and then we do a match, put it together. And that's sort of what needs to be done in this market.
No, I love it. Let me unpack a couple things, folks, that they're saying here, because here's the one thing I'm going to say unequivocally. Whoever you pick as your team, they must be education and advice based. Notice that everything they're talking about, are they selling you anything? No. Are they being salesy and some cheesy lines? No. They're here to educate and to guide you based on their years of experience and them being in this from the moment they wake up till the moment they go to sleep. This is what counts. You must not go off of emotion. Numbers don't lie. It's one of the reasons why I'm in the financing part, because the numbers don't lie. It's not emotional. However, that said, we do have to acknowledge that it is an emotional transaction. And it just isn't what it is, right? But let us do all the heavy lifting for you so that the emotional pain gets subsided to almost zero. We will do all the heavy lifting. And you'll be successful at buying a home, because is it a good time to buy? No doubt. Why? Because there's less competition. It just is what it is. When the competition comes back, you're going to be in one among many getting outbid, unfortunately, because you're going to see everybody jumping back in. So the way to get a hold of them, which I recommend you call them now, right? Call them now, because the consultation, number one, is free, and two, doesn't obligate you to anything. If anything, they're going to give you some really cool stuff for free. And you see their phone number there is 415-936-1006, and their email is ownyourhome@Dyniece, DYNIECE.com. Contact them today, because you need to have a plan. You can't just go off emotion, because emotions will trick you into not doing anything. By the way, it's already been 5 years. You're going to wait another 5? I don't recommend it, right? Action always wins. Action is actually more important than IQ, but you have to get your EQ, your emotional intelligence, in gear.
Yeah, I like
any
that.
Parting question? Any parting thoughts?
No, you hit it on the head. Like I said, we can talk all day about real estate, but I really enjoy the conversation of trying to get people into that defined part. And I think they appreciate it too. And like I said, it takes time to buy a house, and you really want to walk yourself through. I never want to push somebody into a situation they're not comfortable in. And it's really guiding them to where I'm handing keys and we're having a party.
Exactly. We're just guiding you to make informed decisions. On that note, thank you both again, and we will see you the next time. Be good and be good at it. Have a good one.
Thanks, Ed.